Hey friends, Michelle here. How's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday. I'm hiding out on my deck. Does anybody else have kids that are starting school this week? My daughter started kindergarten, so we've been really looking forward to her starting kindergarten. And she's older, so she'll be turning 6 soon. So it's kind of like we had to wait an extra year. And now kindergarten doesn't look exactly like we had always imagined it. And it's been tough. So my daughter's doing some schoolwork. The baby's sleeping, and then my middle child, my son, is like, I want to do work because I was doing work on the computer. My husband's working from home on his computer. My daughter's doing her schoolwork, and he feels a little left out. So, but I think my kindergartner is helping him with some, I don't know, keeping him busy. Anyway, hello, Michelle here with Michelle Beckner Family Wellness. If you're new here, you won't know that I have awesome mom hairs growing back in that I tried to like slick down before I got on this call. We just moved into a new house. So yeah, this is exciting. This is my new deck. And my point of that is I don't have any hats at this house. I still have my hats in my old house, so I can't cover up my mom hairs. Does anybody else have these? My daughter's 8 months. Does anybody else have these awesome, like, cool sideburns growing in and like baby hairs growing back in? Please tell me it's not just, it happens with every one of my babies. So Michelle here, Michelle Beckner Family Wellness. I help moms like you find food freedom, make food easy, and also heal your baby. Or help heal your baby. So if your baby has skin issues or any sort of discomfort or mucousy poops or whatever, I can help you figure out how to make eating easy while healing your baby. Fun stuff, right? So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about food and our relationship with food, because it can be really tricky. Food is a tough one, right? And I know a lot of us have complicated relationships with food. And I kind of just like to make it easy and look at it in a little bit of a different way, making it so that food makes you feel good and is empowering. But how many of you ladies, raise your hand or let me know in the comments, feel like food is the enemy right now, right? Like maybe you've just gone dairy free, or you've been dairy free for a while, or you're trying to figure out if maybe you need to eliminate something else. How many of you feel like food is the enemy? Oh, and by the way, my husband's a Bills fan, so that's why we've got that chair back there. Who here is a Bills fan? Let me know in the comments too. So yeah, let me know, does food feel like the enemy? Because I'm here to tell you, food is not only not the enemy, but it doesn't need to be the enemy, okay? The enemy is your poor baby's discomfort, not your baby, your baby's discomfort or their itchy skin, or like whatever symptoms they're having. That's what we want to like focus all of our like warrior energy at, right? We want those things to go away. Food is not what we want to be fighting against. We want to be able to work with food, so it can not only make us feel better, but it can also help heal baby and just kind of take all of that like emotional weight and burden off of us when it comes to choosing what to eat, like many times a day, right? As a breastfeeding mom, it's probably more than 3 meals a day that you're eating. So I don't want you to have to like stress about every single time you're hungry or just choose not to eat anything. I've talked to so many moms that have just like, I decided to just skip lunch today because I felt like I didn't have anything to eat. And I don't want that for you. You need nourishment. You need food, not only like as a person, but especially as a breastfeeding mom who needs to be caring for another little one. You need variety in your diet. You need to enjoy eating. You need to be able to eat enough, right? So I don't want you feeling like you can't eat. A bee just landed on my leg. That freaked me out. I want you to feel like you can eat, and not only you can eat, but actually like feel good about it. Okay. So, again, let me know if you're just joining. Do you feel like food is the enemy for you? So have you just recently gone dairy free? Or you've been dairy free for a while, but do you, or have you ever felt like food is the enemy? Because it's not. And we're going to turn that around and figure out a way to make it so that it's not the enemy, and it's actually what's giving you freedom and empowering you to feel good, have energy, and most importantly, heal your baby and get rid of the actual enemy, which is your baby's symptoms. Okay. Let's see, what do I want to talk about in my notes? So one thing, when we first go dairy-free, one thing that I talk about a lot with moms who've just gone dairy-free is it can feel like a total, just a total bomb went off in your life, because food, we're eating multiple times a day, right? And probably eating used to be a little bit more easy for you, possibly, right? Before going dairy-free. So, and everyone is in sort of what I call your food groove. So you kind of maybe you're not eating the same thing every day, but you kind of don't have to put too much thought into what you're eating. Let me know if you know what I mean when I say a food groove. So before you go dairy-free, you're probably in some sort of a food groove. All of a sudden, you have to eliminate dairy or some sort of food from your diet, and you're thrown all out of whack, and you're thrown off of your groove, right? So eating is no longer easy. Even if you did have maybe a bit of a complicated relationship with food before, now it's adding in a new level of complication, right? So you're thrown off of your food groove. So the goal is to find a new food groove, and just understand that it can take some time, right? So it's not going to be you decide to go dairy-free, or doctor recommends to go dairy-free, and then the next day you're your kitchen's fully stocked, you have a week's worth of meal plans and everything that you need. That's not the way it works, right? It's going to take some time. So I think that's kind of the one most important step to start with, is to just, all right, this bee is back, to just start with being gentle on yourself and knowing that it's going to take time to kind of get back in your new groove. But guess what? You will get back into your new groove, and you will be feeling better eventually. I promise. Okay. So start small. What kind of things do you struggle with most? Let me know in the comments. Is it making dinners for the whole family? Is it just getting enough food to eat? Is it finding time to cook? Is it snacks? If it's snacks, I talked about snacks a little bit last week. Actually, I talked about if you feel like you're losing too much weight while breastfeeding dairy-free. A lot of people ask about what kind of snacks can I eat to keep me full and help me gain weight. So I talked about that last week. So you can go find that video, or if you want to let me know if you want to watch, and I'm happy to tag you in it. But if you feel like you struggle the most with snacks, because I see a lot of moms asking about snacks, then I want you to go back first to meals and tell me what your meals look like, or think about what your meals look like, and let's optimize those and make those nice, fully round, complete meals that you're sitting down and actually eating and getting enough food before we start trying to throw in a bunch of snacks. Okay. But let me know, what is your biggest struggle when it comes to finding your new food groove? Is it snacking? Is it just finding time to cook? Is it dinners? Is it breakfast? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments. So that's the first thing is be gentle with yourself. Recognize you will get back in your food groove. It just might take you some time to find it. Number 2, think about where you're struggling the most when it comes to figuring out what to eat, and start there, okay? Start really focusing on that and making that easy. The goal is we want it to feel easy, and we also want it to, we don't want it to, this is the goal, right? So this isn't going to happen right away. It's going from surviving to thriving, right? That's why I named the group this. So the goal is to make it feel easy. And yes, maybe you'll start out in survival mode, but the goal is to get to thriving mode where you're really optimizing your diet, and it's doing the best it can, not to just give you something to eat, but actually fuel you and make you feel good and help heal your baby. That's the goal, to make it easy to eat the things that taste good, make you feel good, and heal your baby. That's the goal, okay? What else do I want to talk about? Okay, and then last thing, we'll make it a quick one today. So those are kind of 3 steps to go through. And then last thing, what I want to leave you with is, if you are kind of struggling with your relationship with food and you see it as the enemy, let's try this, okay? Try thinking of one or a couple mantras to tell yourself and write down, repeat over and over in your head, that can kind of switch those thoughts. Because remember, food is not the enemy. Food can be the most empowering, just freedom-giving food that are actually giving you and your baby life and health, okay? So let's turn that around. So think of some mantras, what is it that is really making you struggle with food, and flip it on its head. Find the reverse, turn it into a sentence or like a short phrase, write it down, and then have it constantly on repeat in your head. If you need some help kind of thinking of some mantras, before I went live, I thought of like some quick, easy ones, maybe to at least get you inspired, but it's nice to sort of think of one for yourself. And I do this a lot of times with my clients, depending on what they're struggling with. I give them a mantra. So sometimes it's like a client in the middle of the night when they're nursing their baby is their hardest time, and they just feel like they're exhausted and they're never going to be able to do it. So I'll give them like a mantra to tell themselves in the middle of the night to make them feel better. Oh, hey, Roxanne, I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for joining. All right, so a few mantras. I'm assuming you're saying do post some mantras. So some that I wrote down. Food makes me feel good. Food helps heal my baby. I have endless options of yummy, healthy food to eat. So those are some really simple, easy ones that can kind of work for everybody. I'll say them again. Food makes me feel good. Food helps heal my baby. And I have endless options of yummy, healthy foods. So start out with those, maybe come up with some of your own mantras. Let me know in the comments if you're watching the replay, what sort of mantras you've come up with, or if you're watching now and you want to come back, please let me know in the comments what kind of mantras you've come up with to sort of help you recognize, help you turn food from being the enemy into being your friend. And let's make babies' symptoms the enemy. Does that all make sense? I cannot wait to see everybody's mantras in the comments here. I'll be checking back. And I'll see you guys next week. By the way, next week starts the next round of the free Baby Skin Solution mini course. So whether you've joined in on the course before or you're new to the group or don't know anything about it, if your baby has any sort of skin issues, I talk a lot about eczema, but any sort of like dry, itchy, uncomfortable skin, if your baby has any sort of skin issues, check out the Baby Skin Solution mini course. You should be able to see a link at the top of the group in the announcements. It's totally free, starts next week, and we're going to like give you so much information and so much help to empower you to take control of your baby's skin and your baby's symptoms and your diet. So awesome, Roxanne. Those are good. And yeah, I know, Roxanne, we've talked before and I know you've struggled with food. So keep saying those mantras, help you and your baby thrive and survive. That is exactly it. So I hear from moms all the time. They're like, I'll do anything. I just want my baby to be happy. I just want my baby to be healthy. I'll do anything. And it's like, well, you know what? Let's not sacrifice your health and your mental health and emotional health and physical health for your baby. I totally understand how it feels to want to do anything for your baby and just sacrifice like your whole life just so that your baby could feel better. I totally get it. I've got 3 kids. I know it. I know that feeling. But your kids are not going to thrive unless you as their mom are thriving too. So you kind of have to find the happy medium where you're taking care of yourself, feeling good with yourself, and then that is going to help your baby survive and thrive. So anyway, Roxanne, I like that you said that that food shouldn't be the enemy and it's helping you and your baby thrive and survive. I love that you said that. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And like I said, I'll be back next week in the Baby Skin Solution mini course. Let me see your mantras. And if you need help signing up for the mini course, just let me know, reach out, and we'll be in touch. All right. Have a great one. Bye, everyone.